Essentials for Blended Learning.
Intro 3, a standards-based approach. Employ technology to improve learning outcomes and increase learner engagement. The content is reinforced throughout the book by repeating concepts in each chapter, the chapter summary, and in the appendices checklist. It is redundant to reinforce the understanding. The effectiveness of this blended approach is research-based. For application, it would be a great collaborative tool. It's highly engaging. We can use it for student samples, etc., without having to import photos, and it has a novel approach. It's very unique and new.
Introduction 6, terminology that is used in this guide. Teacher. The teacher is the designer or instructor. Student is the one learning or taking the course being taught. Learner, taken the course but continues to learn after. Course, any class structure. Class, people in the course. Lesson, learning outcomes being taught. Goal, learning objectives or outcomes. Outcome, measurable statement of desired learning. Learning Management System, or the LMS, is a web-based tool that manages instruction and monitors learning. On-site teaching is face-to-face. Online is using the World Wide Web, and gender is using male or female in writing. We can use this in social studies, art, math, language, writing, computers, team building exercises, music, reading, science, and bringing the community together.
Blended Teaching and Learning by Wendy, Suzanne, Trish, and Becky. Blended education is the mix, the best of on-site and online. It creates new learning environment. Blended courses add flexibility, provide learning benefits, and it taps into the modern social web. Teachers need to go beyond a digital facelift. And our aim is to create transformative blends in our classroom.
Changing world, changing learners. We are going places. Analog to digital, tethered to mobile, isolated to connected, general to personal, consuming to creating, closed to open. Is education keeping up with these changes? We need to respond to this changing world by teaching and learning differently.
Blended learning. Blended learning is a balance based on your needs, varied by day, purpose, and your needs. In the space of a week, you can watch an online video, discover additional resources, engage in online discussion with classmates, take an online quiz, and review your peers' draft papers. Avoid the course and a half syndrome. Don't just add to, make sure that you replace and enrich. Classroom application using Nearpod, discussion questions and forums, virtual reality like an offsite field trip, and using if-then guides.
Why blend? Chapter 1, Section 3. You blend because it will improve learning, like increasing triggers, guidance. So students working in the classroom receive guidance from the teacher versus blending through resources, activities, assessments with explicit guidance. It also improves learning by individualizing the learning opportunities. Students can do self-directed learning. Teachers can provide immediate corrective feedback and immediate redirection to revisit the materials and redo something. It improves learning by increasing engagement. It gives more kids more opportunities to share, and students are more on task. They're more focused on what's going on. So in summary, technology is simply a tool. It's intentionally implementing new technology in the world and adapting to a changing world. Technology will not replace teachers, but teachers who use technology will replace those who don't.
Blended course design.
There's asynchronous or synchronous. Asynchronous is interactions don't happen at the same time. Discussions respond in your own time with flexibility. Synchronous interactions happen together in own time, face-to-face meetings, online chat, or video conferencing. Blending in the right technologies, LMS versus non-LMS ideas. Planning for learning time, on-site class learning, plus students' assignments, reading, and studying. Application in our classrooms. Learning time does not equate to learning because students begin with different levels of background knowledge. We can differentiate for our individual learners.
Time expectations for teachers and students. Daily check and communicate through your LMS system. Identify students and intervene, respond, and contribute. Weekly preview, conduct meetings, create and share materials, enter scores, evaluate, and provide feedback. Reflect on these questions. When does the course begin? When will you work on the course? How many lessons will you have to do per week? When will you have colleagues, students, or others to preview the course website? How much time can you spend on revising once the course begins?
Chapter 2, Elements of Blended Courses, a Tour. Considerations for blended course designs. It's tech savvy, and you do have to look at how students can use technology. It's on-site versus online, and there is not a best model in place. And you also need to look at the various pedagogies that teachers use. The rhythm of blended courses, there's flexibility, independent learning, and the responsibility of learning is placed on the student. You have on-site versus online learning. And let's go on a tour.
Here's an example of a college blended course. The organization of the course, each lesson is in a web page format, similar to our modules in our Canvas classes. We have an introduction to the author, that gives explicit instructions for whatever the next assignment's going to be, and gives you multimedia files for download. Activities. You can do an independent reading where they provide the books for you online. They have digital multimedia, for example, videos, audio files, screen productions, and class discussions online and off. Assessments, they can do an essay portfolio online, use rubrics, and also peer reviews. And so for application in our classrooms, you can make units on our reading street or do an example of a science unit.
Another example, Intro to Oceanography, a college course. It's a flipped classroom where all the learning is done at home independently on students' own time. School is for activities, practice, and reteaching. Students take field trips and use their own devices to record evidence of what they learned and their reflections. They can post those in an online forum. Teacher requires self-check quizzes to be done before coming back to class each week. Students are required to score 90% on an online quiz. They can attempt the quiz as many times as needed to achieve mastery. Questions are randomly selected from a large pool of questions. No memorizing the answers. Teacher uses quiz results to guide instruction. The application, we can put a lot of activities on Canvas, use the concepts of the flipped learning as a front load every day.
Section 2.5, Technology for Elementary Education Teachers. This is a course for teachers to learn how to use technology in their classrooms. They develop tech literacy, They develop positive dispositions. They plan effective content-specific technology integration. They practice tech integration in real-world settings, and they learn about ethical and safe use of technology. This is a blended learning process. On-site first and last day for the teachers, and then differentiated for each student, just like the teacher incorporates this into the classroom. There's constant interaction with the facilitator throughout the process. Activities and assessments throughout this course for the teachers. There's a pre and post assessment, there's a mid-year assessment, and there are some projects and portfolios throughout the course. Application is the use of technology in the classroom as a teaching tool.